Alright guys, I made a scouting trip out to False River in New Roads, Louisiana this past Sunday. I wanted to go get some scouting in for an upcoming tournament with Bam Bassin. In the week leading up to this past Sunday, it looked like the water rose about a foot with all the heavy rains we were getting throughout the week. The weather forecast showed the winds to be fairly light at up to about 10 miles an hour. The air temperature 48 degrees to 50 degrees. On the drive up, I decided I was gonna try to do as much scouting, graphing as I could for the day. I launched on the north end of the lake at Jim's at about 8 o'clock in the morning. The air temperature was 48 degrees. I headed out to the main lake and started graphing in that 4 to 8 foot range, and then eventually worked my way out to that 8 to 15 foot range, just running the side imaging. I spent roughly 3 to 4 hours pedaling and graphing. In those three to 4 hours, I might have made about 3 dozen casts to some of the stuff I marked on the graph. It's pretty tough doing all that pedaling and not doing much fishing. Most of the stuff I was able to find with the graph was in that 8 to 12 foot range, but they didn't have much bait. It was just the laydowns and the brush piles. They didn't have a whole lot of activity around them. I shot across the lake towards the public boat launch by Morals. That 20-foot depth range I crossed seemed to have a little bit more bait fish in it than the shallower stuff I spent all morning graphing. I headed west from Morals to go graph around the boat docks and the steeper banks they have out in that direction. There did seem to be a little bit more bait fish around the boat docks than what they had on the flats. I turned the boat around and started graphing all the docks back towards the canals on the north end. The canals on the north end were muddy. The water temperature did warm up to about 60 degrees once I got in that muddy water. I spent a good bit of time exploring and fishing a little bit in the canals. I managed to catch one decent bass punching. There's not much to punch in the canals though. It's not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. I was able to pick up one more bass about 10 inches off a dock in one of the canals. Man, that smells good. At about 2:30, I decided to head back to the boat launch. I was supposed to pick up and move to the south end of the lake, but after about 7 to 8 miles of pedaling, my legs were shot and my back was killing me. I think if this warming trend holds up, that the brush piles and the flats around the brush piles should hold a decent amount of fish. If not, there's a whole lot of boat docks and a few canals to go fish. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you.